goal I had. I enjoyed politics, but I loved my mama. She was an incredible woman. And I think about her. I used to go to work with her on Miami Beach. She worked for wealthy families. She cooked for them. And we ate the food left over from the families that she cooked for. They would say, maybe whatever food is left over, you can pack it up and take it home and feed those 7 children that you have taken in as foster kids. I was a foster kid. And she cleaned their homes, kept their children, and we wore the hand-me-down clothes of the children that she kept. This wealthy family, Mr. Zadersky, and I would go in his office and clean. He would listen to these motivational messages, and unbeknownst to me, they were impacting my mind. I'd never heard anybody talk like that before. And it inspired me. It made me feel good. And I was going through a tough time during that time. I felt like a stranger in my own community. There were things that were happening to us. I mean, I remember going on the bus with my mother, and there were seats available in front. And she said, keep moving, Leslie. I was 5 years old. Mom, why can't we sit here? There's seats here. People are standing up back here. You see that yellow line? Yes, ma'am. Go across that yellow line. Mama, there are seats here. Go across that yellow line. Why can't we see it here? Don't ask any questions. We just can't. Why, Mama? Leslie, just stand there. Hold my hand. We'll be all right. Got downtown spot. 95 degrees in Miami. And I was thirsty. I let my mother's hand go and I ran to a water fountain and started drinking water. And all of a sudden she said, Leslie, don't you do that, boy. She grabbed me and she threw me to the ground and she started punching me and leaning over me, and I'm looking at her like a crazed look. And I said, Mama, it's me, Mama, it's me. And then shortly thereafter, white policeman came over. Okay, all right. You beat that little nigger boy enough. I think he's learned his lesson. He laughed as he walked away. He laughed because he saw me 5 years old being beaten from drinking from a water fountain. Mama said that water fountain's for whites only, Leslie. I didn't want to beat you, boy. But I saw him looking at you and the anger in his face and in his eyes. And he took his blackjack out and was walking toward you with this fierceness on his face. I had to make a tough decision. How many of you ever had to make a tough decision? Raise your hand if you know. I had to make a tough decision. Because had he hit you, Leslie, with that blackjack, he would have to kill me. And I would have to leave you and your brothers and sisters to fend for themselves. I had to think fast, and that's why he hit you and beat you like that, and I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, son. I'm so sorry. I said, Mama, it's okay, don't cry. It's okay, Mama. I understand. Why would he want to beat me, Mama? That's just the way it is, Leslie. Let us say together, defining moment. That was a defining moment for me. That didn't set well. How many have ever been there? You had a defining moment. It didn't set well in your heart, your spirit, in your soul. was this movie, Magnolia. I love just this section of it. With Tom Cruise, there's a line, heard it 3 o'clock in the morning. Couldn't go back to sleep. And the line was, we might be through with our past, but our past is not through with us. How many have ever gone through something that has affected you to this day? Raise your hand, you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to pause right now. Lord, I rebuke every retarded demon that turned that phone on right now. Oh, behave. You know, I feel like the comedian George Wallace. He said he went to a funeral and the guy was preaching this guy's funeral and all of a sudden the phone went off and he said, the guy sat up in the casket and said, can I have my day? I'm just playing about that. I got issues, all right? We all have defining moments. I don't know you, but here's what I know about you. You have something special. You have greatness in you. You have the ability to do more than you can ever begin to imagine. You showed up because you're not cut from the same cloth. Your branches of the same tree. You showed up because everything I'm going to share with you, you already know it in your heart of hearts. And I'm here to remind you of what you already know. And I want you to think about 3 areas of your life. Something you want in your personal life. Mine was to take care of my mother. Mama, when would I be a man? When you turn 18. When I turn 18, Mama, you'll never work again. I'm going to set you down. You hear me, Mama? Leslie, you don't have to do that. I know, Mama, but when I turn 18, I'm going to take care of you like you took care of us. I want you to think about somebody who's done something for you and they didn't have to, or somebody that you love, who you admire, and you like to do something special for. I want you to think about that, all right? And I did. When I turned 18, I took care of my mother. Mama passed at 89. She's a 22-year breast cancer conqueror. She's a powerful woman. And I want you to think about your financial freedom number. What's that number? Become clear about that. Why? Your thoughts have magnetic power. Repeat after me, please. This will be my winning season. Everything that I want will appear. I'm willing to go all in, to work, to make it happen, to create the life that I envision. Now let me share with you why that's important. How many of you have ever thought about somebody and they call you out of the blue? Raise your hands, please, all right? Our thoughts have magnetic power, but what happens is that because of all the interruptions of Facebook and Twitter and television and negative conversations and setbacks and disappointments, that magnetic power does not serve us. In order for it to come to play in your life, you've got to focus. You've got to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort to focus your mind, because you're going to be distracted. How many of you have been distracted? Raise your hands, please. That's why over 80% of the people who make New Year's resolutions, they've already forgotten those New Year's resolutions. You've got to focus your mind, because you're going to take some hits. Some things are going to happen to you that you cannot anticipate. I'm telling you what I know. This is not something that I believe. This is what I know. I want you, as you think about this goal that you have, this personal goal, and what is that financial freedom number? I want you to see it in your mind's eye. And I can tell you, and I'm speaking to another part of you right now, who knows what I'm talking about. I'm speaking to your heart, not to your ears. I'm speaking to your heart. That you can do that. You can do it. Nobody could have told me, being born in an abandoned building on a floor, poor section of Miami, Florida called Liberty City. If my birth parents stood up now, my oldest son doing the 23andMe search, if they stood up now and said, hey, here we are, I would not know either one. Wesley, my twin brother and I, we were adopted. First we were foster children, and then we were adopted when we were 17. And when I was in the 5th grade, I was a kid who had a lot of energy. I was always making the kids laugh. I was always entertaining them, always getting in trouble. They told me I talked too much. Now I get paid $70,000 an hour to keep on talking when I speak in the U.S. When I go to Dubai or London, internationally, they pay me $225,000 an hour. And I don't say that to impress you, but to impress upon you. You have the ability to do some things that you don't know that you can do. And I got in this business, I didn't get into it to make money. I got into it to change lives like somebody changed my life. That's why I do what I do. Don't follow the money. You find your passion, something you love, something that's your calling, and you master that. Give you 3 things I want you to listen to. This is your homework. I want you to write this down. And some of you already know, Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome. I'm speaking before 80,000 people. I want you to watch that on a daily basis. Next one is, you gotta be hungry. No, that one, not that one. I want you to yeah, that's good, but I want you to, the one called It's Possible. Come on. And I want you to watch You Deserve. Why, Les? Because when I did those, I was going through a tough time. When you have a goal and dream, things gonna happen to you that you can't anticipate. I was married and divorced from someone that I love very much. I had a doctor look at me and say, you have cancer. Those are 3 of the most feared words in 3 different languages. You have cancer. And my doctor had said something. He was weird, Dr. Alfred Golson. I said, can you give me a second opinion? He said, yes, you're ugly too. I said, come on, Dr. Golson, you know. He's the kind of guy you go to for your prostate examination. He put 2 hands on your shoulders and say, you ready? No! Man, you crazy. You got issues. I want to show finally get your license up in here. I'm scared of you. I'm turning red as I talk about this, but y'all can't see it. He's a crazy dude, man, my God. But he said, Les, you're going to beat this. You got this. I want you to look at your dream. You're going to have some stuff happen to you. Some of you are already in some stuff. Repeat after me, please, everybody with conviction. I got this.
I got this.
Say it again. I got this.
I got this.
I got this.
I got this.
I want you, if you're going through some stuff, see yourself on the other side and say, wow, I did it. Say it now, please. Wow, I did it. Yes. He said, I'll give you all your eyes can see. I want you to hold that vision. Flip Wilson used to say, what you see is what you get, all right? And so holding that vision is very important because most people allow the interruptions of life to stop them. This is Mamie Brown, Mr. Moss, who's my godfather. He said he came home one day after seeing this lady in Liberty City, an abandoned building with a set of twins. He'd been notified from social services that she was there, had twins, and she interviewed people and didn't want them separated. And so he saw her, and he said, I'm coming back with a lady who said she wanted a son, but I think she'll take two. He said to me, I called Mamie. I said, Mamie, this lady got some twins. She don't want to separate them. You say you want a boy or a girl to raise. Will you take two? She said, yeah. He said, get dressed. He said, we got dressed and we drove out there to Liberty City. 62nd Street, Northwest 17th Avenue. We walked in this building there, and this lady was back there, shoulder-length hair, sitting on a mattress, had you and Wesley wrapped in a light blue blanket, and Mamie was right behind me. Your birth mother looked up, and she asked, are you the one, lady? And I helped her get to her feet, and she got up in Mamie's face. Are you the one, lady? Mr. Moore say you'll take good care of my boys and won't separate them. I talked to a lot of people. Are you the one? He said, Mamie said, yes. He said, your birth mother got closer and looked her in the eyes, holding y'all. Long time, like she's looking in her brain and her heart, and in her soul, just stood there looking face to face, nose almost touching, and you and Wesley were asleep. And then she said, it broke the silence, Mr. Moss, I think she's the one. She handed y'all over to Mamie, and Mamie looked at her and said, are you sure? She said, yes. Go now. And Mamie turned and started walking out with y'all, and your birth mother followed behind her, close behind her. I opened the door for her to get in the car, and when she sat in the car, your birth mother leaned over and said, are you sure you're the one? She said, yes. And she kissed the two of you on the forehead. I closed the door gently and I hurried on the other side. And she stood, didn't look at us as I drove away slowly. Then all of a sudden we heard this scream, wait! Wait! Please wait! Mr. Moss, wait! And Mamie asked me, do you think she changed her mind, Mr. Moss? Do you think she want her boys back? He said, I don't know. And she came and looked in. Are you the one? Are you going to take care of them? You promised? Yes. You won't ever separate them? Yes. Go, Mr. Moss. Go. I drove away slowly. Mamie began to cry. She looked at the two of you. She said, I don't know how y'all slept through that. And as she looked at y'all, then she looked in the distance. And I know she was thinking about her life. That was a defining moment. Never had any kids. Very great education. Cafeteria worker, worked on Miami Beach cleaning homes. Her life had changed because of you and Wesley. And then shortly thereafter, she took in 5 other kids. What do you want? What do you want? I wanted to take care of her. My brother and sisters called me one day, and I was in Columbus, Ohio. I was a disc jockey. I'll tell you about that. So, but that's Mamie Brown. Which one am I, on the right or the left? I'm the cute one. Which one am I?
The left. Yes.
I'm on the left, you got it. That's what I'm talking about. As you think about your golden dream, as Wesley and I eating sugar cane, I remember doing a tour with 45 minus 1. No, it's 46 minus 1. That's what it is. Donald Trump, called Millionaires in Training. He was lamenting his father only gave him $14 million for his dream. How many of you $14 million would be your dream? Right I would have come out there and gazed and slapped it. You know what I'm saying? My mama gave us 2 pieces of sugar cane. Some of y'all better stop by Publix to get some sugar cane, you know? But I had this dream of taking care of my mama. What is your dream? Focus your mind. Listen to those. Watch those motivational messages. Expose them to your children when they're in the car with you. Why, Leslie? Because you have to program yourself. If you don't program your mind will be programmed. Things that's going on right now is very destructive. Your mind will be programmed. And we're living in a time that's a defining time. That if you look at your life, look at what you want to do. Next thing is not only your financial goals, your personal goals, but your social contribution. We're not just here for ourselves. This stage of my life, I'm called to help people to discover their power voice, to learn how to tell their story. I'm here as I've been able to be blessed because I followed my passion and what was in my heart. But I didn't always do it. For 14 years, I was on the sideline. I'm here so I can do what I want to do my way. That's what I did the first part of my life. Now I'm doing it God's way. Somebody asked me the other day, why won't you just be quiet? I raised an issue that a lot of people took issue with. 2 children died in our custody. 2 children. The president didn't say, we give our condolences to this mother and father and their family. 2 children died in custody. What happened to those bodies? Where are they? No one in the media mentioning to those little babies. The least that you do unto these, my brethren, you do it also unto me. Where are these evangelicals, these ministers? Where are they? These were babies. Somebody's children, where are they? Why aren't we saying we arrange for them to get a decent burial? Les, you can't speak out on that. People will stop coming to your seminars and workshops. I can look at y'all and say the devil is a liar. No, I'm not going to sit back and allow them to create a hostile environment. Bring me some tissues here, thank you. Hostile environment for immigrants. We all immigrants. I was an involuntary immigrant. Y'all missed that one. So I'm looking for people. I'm looking for people who want to make a difference with their voice. When you look at those kids there,
Nobody would have predicted that one would become a state legislator, chairman of the Human Resource Committee and Education Committee, and pass 14 bills my first term. Nobody ever predicted that. One of those boys who convert sugarcane into a microphone and speak to over 80,000 people in the Georgia Dome and over 51 countries, and stand up in defense of people who have goals and dreams. I don't know you, but here's what I know about you. You got something special. You got greatness in you. There's something that you're supposed to do. That's why you're in this room. There's something in your heart that you're supposed to express, that you are supposed to tap into. I didn't do this for 14 years. I didn't think I could because I was programmed. I was put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade and labeled educable, mentally retarded. I was programmed. Maybe your boy got too much mouth, too much energy, too busy. I was programmed. Failed at Booker T. Washington High School in the 8th grade. Went to summer school every year. I was programmed. And then something happened. I was looking for a friend named MacArthur Stevens. And I went in this man's room looking for him. And he said, hey, whoa, wow, they were working on a play. Young man, come, go up to the board and work this out for me. Want me to read the script? So I looked the part. I said, oh, sir, I can't do that. Standing before an audience reading something, I was panicked. And he said, why? I said, I'm not one of your students. I'm just here to see my friend MacArthur Stevens. He said, do it anyhow. And the students started laughing, saying, he's Leslie. He's got a twin brother, Wesley. Wesley's smart. He's DT. What's DT? He's the dumb twin. And I said, I am, sir. With conviction. He came from behind his desk and he looked at me. He said, don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. And so the reason I want you to listen to and watch these videos, the one in the Georgia Dome where I was bathing in the sink down the hall, hiding in the closet from the janitorial staff. The speech is called It's Not Over Till You Win. It will change your programming. It will help to strip. If you ever wax the floor, you don't put old wax on top of, new wax on top of old wax. You strip it. There's a lot of stuff when you live in a hostile environment, a hostile culture, when people demonize you, when you are invisible and they have no respect for you, you take hits. And you've got to fortify yourself and strengthen yourself from the inside out. When the requirements for you to Gunther Ranker and those guys, I attribute my success to a large degree to them and Tony. They said, you have a good story, very inspiring, but you're black. And I wrote him back, said, I never would have known that if you had told me. So can we talk business? The guy just hung up. I guess he doesn't get it. Repeat after me, please. It's necessary.
It's necessary.
Find a way to win.
Find a way to win.
Yeah, see, that dream that you have, your personal dream, your financial goal of financial freedom number, that social contribution that you want to make, you can make it happen. It's possible. Let us say together, it's possible.
It's possible.
It's very important that you have a mindset of optimism that it's possible. There's some things you can say I can do, but there's some things you don't know you can do. But you can say and be in integrity, it's possible.
It's powerful.
Because of what you've witnessed, because of what you've seen. Come, Riyadh. Come, my brother. Come. Just met Riyadh. I know when I'm in the presence of greatness. How are you?
Good, sir. Thank you.
What's the title of your book, Riyadh?
The $2 American Dream.
The $2 American Dream. You came to this country. This is a guy that I'm fighting for. People like Riyadh. And Riyadh, the subtitle is,
What's your excuse?
what's your excuse? And the reason he asked that profound question, life is a question. God asked Adam, where are you, Adam? Where are you? You made in my likeness and image. You've been given authority and dominion over everything on the face of the earth. Where are you? He slept on floors. Riyadh, he came here with $2. Riyadh had a goal and a dream. His mother was crying every day, going through extreme hardship. Riyadh had a goal that sustained him, that gave him the deep down resolve to clean toilets, mop floors, do all kind of mediocre work. And because he held that dream, let us say together, it's necessary.
It's necessary.
We need Riyadh. When you think about Riyadh, taking care of his mother was a non-negotiable. He said that dream is necessary. Put your hand over your heart right now with me. Say it again, my dream is necessary.
My dream is necessary.
Feel your heartbeat, feel your heartbeat, feel your heartbeat. You were chosen 1 out of 400 million sperm. God chose you, that which is in your heart. Where your heart is, there your treasure is also. You were given life for a purpose. You were created on purpose, with a purpose, for a purpose. And Riyadh realized that his purpose was to take care of his mother, to dry up her tears, mopping floors, doing all kind of mediocre work, cleaning toilets. And then a change came. What happened, Riyadh?
Only my mom don't cry no more. And I opened my first business, and I worked a lot of hours, and I opened the second one and third one. And I kept going because I don't want to make sure my mom don't cry no more.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Look at somebody in your right and left and say, what's your excuse? Give him a round of applause. Became a fitness trainer, provides services in a multitude of businesses. He's a speaker. His mama don't cry no more, she smiles. Say, that's my boy. How many of you have someone special that you don't want to cry anymore? Raise your hands right now. You don't want them worrying anymore? Raise your hands right now. You don't want them being stressed out anymore? Raise your hand right now. Yeah. And so I believe, ready to be heard, how I lost my hearing and found my voice. I believe, Amanda, that this stage of my life, we learn, we earn, we pass it on. Yes, come up here, let me talk to you. You can do better than that. How did you lose your voice?
I actually was born hearing, and I started losing my hearing when I was 4 years old. And as I got older, my hearing kept decreasing. Doctors couldn't tell me why, and I felt so ashamed of what was happening to me and being different that I decided to hide it from the world. I hid my hearing loss as it got worse and worse and worse for 18 years until I was 22 years old and in the middle of my college education. And I woke up one day and I had just had routine tonsillectomy. I woke up 100% deaf with all the rest of my hearing gone, 100% mute. I didn't know sign language, and I couldn't lip read. So the only way for me to communicate outside of my own body was through writing. I went from a person who depended on my hearing for everything, for communication with my family, my classes, just connecting with other people, to having nothing, no way of communicating at all. But I had made a promise to myself to finish college, so I taught myself to speak again. I taught myself to lip read, and I went back to school, and I finished my 2 college degrees in 4 years. Thank you. After that, I went searching for people like me, and I found out that about 20% of our population is living with hearing loss, and I wanted to find a way to share information with them to help everyone live their best possible life. So I learned sign language, I got involved in the deaf community, I started working and basically doing everything everyone told me I can't. They're like, you're deaf, you can't be on TV. So I started working on a show called Switch to Birth, and then I worked on Speechless on ABC. NBC's Bad Judge, they told me, you can't get a college degree, so I did. You can't talk again, so I did. So really my whole life has been about, I've dedicated it to breaking down barriers, because I grew up a hard of hearing kid with no role models in the media. There was no one openly hard of hearing to show me that in the future I can be educated, I can have a job, I can be a contributing member of society, I don't have to be disabled or live in this stereotype the world's created for me. So now I try to inspire other children and even adults to ignore the stereotype, be who you are, follow your dreams, and ignore the can'ts. So.
Everybody, give her a tremendous round of applause. Thank you. Repeat after me, please. Repeat after me, please. I'm ready.
I'm ready
to break through barriers. To play a bigger game. What people think about me is none of my business. Because if Amanda can do it, if Riyadh can do it, with $2, what's my excuse? Come on, somebody. Give yourself a round of applause. I got issues. I wish you could hear me laugh, Amanda. Oh boy, how many 75-year-old men go around with Mickey Mouse socks on? And Mickey Mouse underwear too, but I'm not showing. You can look if you want to. She talked about something there. And Riyadh too. They refuse to accept the barriers. The goal that you want, you've got to refuse. No. This is not acceptable to me. No, I deserve better than this. Many times we get in toxic relationships. It's working out good for the other person, but it's not working out for you. If you know what I'm talking about and the person with you, just blink your eyes. I see you. You've got to say, you have to have a pivot point, as Deneen talked about, that hey, no, I'm drawing the line here. This is not the life that I'm supposed to live. A guy named Darren Benzie, he wrote a book called The Misplaced Life. How many have ever lived a misplaced life? Raise your hand. That you knew it wasn't you. The job wasn't you. The relationship wasn't you. How have you ever been in a relationship, you look back and you said, what state of mind was I in? I was getting counseling to stand that craziness up there. You know what I'm talking about. Just blink your eyes if you're still there. Just blink your eyes. Oh my God, there's a lot of them. Hey, this thing called life, this is something else. And so it's necessary that you make up your mind. There's nothing as powerful as a made-up mind. It's necessary that you program your mind. It's necessary that you upgrade your relationships. Write this down. Upgrade your relationships. This is going to be your best year ever. Listen to me. I'm going to tell you what is necessary. You have to upgrade your relationships. Look at your relationships and ask the question, what is this relationship doing to me? Am I growing mentally and emotionally and spiritually and financially? Am I learning from this relationship? You have to reflect on that. You earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends. People rub off on you. And in order to change my life, in order to go from there to speaking in over 51 countries, in order to go from there and to train for IBM, AT&T, Procter & Gamble, McDonald's Corporation, in order to go from there to changing millions of people's lives around the world, I had to let some people go. And it wasn't easy, and family members. Because they will compromise your power. You've got to get serious about life. Because it's the only one you got. Now, you might believe in reincarnation, but I'm going to take advantage of this one. How many of you can feel a brother up in here, up in here? I have a twin brother, and Wesley, I don't take all Wesley's calls. He had the nerve to say to me the other day, my brother, he is so special, he's so special. Wesley, yes. How you doing? I'm doing good, Wesley. You know you should be doing better. Wesley, I'm having a hot flash right now. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, I'm praying for you, okay? All right, brother, all right. Keep on praying. Here to religious people, as you look at your goals and dreams. Mary McLeod Bethune said this, pray as if everything depends upon God, and work as if everything depends upon you. Pray as if everything depends upon God, and work as if everything depends upon you. One of the problems I had with The Secret, they never mentioned work in there. You can't think up on success. But after you get through thinking, you got to start working. How many know I'm telling the truth? Come on now. They said, you are what you think. If that was true, I'd have been a girl. Some of you missed it. You missed it? Because I thought about the girls all the time. Whatever. So, it's necessary that you upgrade your relationships. It's necessary that you have a plan of action, a blueprint. It's necessary that you hold the vision as if it already is and speak about it. Write it down as if it already is. As I speak to you now, I'm saying in my mind I'm healed, even though I'm perspiring from the medication they inject me with every 3 months, and I have hot flashes. Even as the perspiration is coming down my face. But I know that because of cancer, they say, has metastasized to 7 areas. 7 is my lucky number. And it's getting the hell beat out of it right now. It's necessary, you gotta say. It's necessary that I become cancer-free because God is not through with me yet. I've got more work to do. I've got more speakers to do. It's necessary that you live your dream. There are people who need your services, who need your skills, who need your knowledge, who need your expertise. And you've got to decide. I'm here for a purpose. I'm here for God. I'm on a mission. You can't be casual about that. And stuff's going to happen to you that will challenge you and make you want to get in a corner someplace and suck your finger. Life can hit you so hard, knock you senseless. What's your name? You the motivator? Yes, I am. What's your name? No, I'm not the motivator. Yes, you are. No, you don't. Yes, you don't. No, I'm not. I don't even know him. Yes, you do. No, I don't. Somebody lied on me. Yeah, ain't nobody lied on you. Sometimes life will knock you senseless. Am I right? Yes. And you won't even know your name. How many of you have had some hard blows? Raise your hands, please. I'm telling you. It's Forrest Gump. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. You went through a divorce and someone I love very much. My best friend died waiting on a liver transplant. I watched my mother die. I'd never seen anybody die before, and I didn't think I could live through that. And I went in the room, pulled down the shades and closed the door. And I just stayed in that room. And my son, John Leslie, he came in. Daddy, close the door, John Leslie. It's dark in here. He went to turn on a light. Light wouldn't come on. Why won't the light come on? Because I took the bulb out. Why are you in here like this? I'm thinking. About what? A lot of things. A lot of things. Where is he? Who are you talking about? Where's my daddy? I heard my father say that it's easy to have faith when you're not going through some stuff. Where's my father? He would listen to things and tell other people to do it. I've been looking for him. I was listening for voices coming through the door. I haven't seen my father for a while. Mister, whoever you are, do you think my father's going to live? Is he going to die from cancer? Listen to me. Listen to me, boy. We all gonna die one day. We all gonna die one day. What do you want from me? Your grandmama gone? My rock? A divorce? A friend gone? I got prostate cancer? I went to an event and I can hear say, oh, now he's going to be less than a man. What you want from me, John Leslie? I want my daddy to be who I know him to be. Will you fight? I heard my daddy say, life is a fight for territory. And once you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want will automatically take over. You have cancer? Or does cancer have you? I just want to know where he is. I'm here. Good. I'm letting up the shades so the light can come in. Okay. You let up the other one. You let up the other one. No, help me out. You do it for me. Get up. Get up. You need to get up now. Help me. No, I'm not going to help you. You get up now. And you let the shade up. Boy, if you raise your voice, I'll knock you out. You got to make me lose my mind. Up in here. Up in here. He said, that's my daddy. He's coming back. He's coming back. How many of you have ever been down? Raise your hands, please. Elsie Robinson said, things may happen around you, and things may happen to you. But the only thing that really count are the things that happen in you. and I had lost my way. I had a nationally syndicated talk show that was canceled. I took so many back-to-back blows. I was looking for someone the other day that I hadn't talked to, good friend. And I called the number, didn't work. I went on Google and it said, Marlene died. Oh no. I reached out to a family member, why didn't y'all let me know? We couldn't find your number. All you get, the more friends you lose, family members you lose. We have an expiration date. Write this down. Live with a sense of urgency. That your life and your dreams matter. Write that down. I'm living with a sense of urgency because my life and my dreams matter. We don't know how much time we have. We don't have a clue. I remember when Gladys Knight and I were married, I was next to the table where Frank Sinatra was seated. He was talking to a young guy, and he said, live each day as if it were your last, because one day it will be. Let us say together, I was given a dream.
I was given a dream.
I was chosen on purpose.
I was chosen on purpose.
With a purpose.
With a purpose.
For a purpose.
For a purpose.
There's something. There's a calling on my life.
On my life.
And I'm going to do it.
And I'm going to do it.
Give yourselves a round of applause. Bring your energy level up. Bring your energy level up. Hello, Celeste. Are you trying to give me a prompter for the time? It's my seminar. I'll stop when I want to. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Make it happen.
I will make it happen.
It's hard.
It's hard.
But I can do hard.
But I can do hard.
I told my mentor, I said, Mike, man, how can I compete with people with PhDs and MBAs? He said, Brownie, he said, it will be hard, but guess what? If you give yourself an excuse, don't do it. He said, if you let yourself off the hook and use that as an excuse because you don't have the money and the education, he said, if you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. I now work because I want to, not because I have to. How many of you would like to be in that place? Come on, talk to me. I'm coming back this afternoon with Nick Vujicic, and yes, it's an image of God.
Amen.
You can do more than you can ever begin to imagine. Write this down. Deep down resolve that when you look at building a life, when you lose your ability to hear, when you lose your ability to see, when you don't have all of your limbs, but you decide, I'm not going to live a limited life.
Amen.
You decide, I'm going to make it in spite of. When you think about the toxic climate that we're living in right now, where immigrants are being demonized, where people are being judged and treated unfairly, that handling and dealing with that, it takes a mindset of it's not over until I win.
That's right.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes. And here's the thing. Ask for help. And don't stop until you get it.
That's right.
lot of people want to ask for help. I believe in asking for help. I got here because a lot of people helped me. A lot of people said, I heard that guy, Mamie Brown's baby boy. Dexter Yeager, he was a top distributor in Amway. Over 50% of the volume in Amway went through his organization. He had to make a decision to select a speaker to speak in the Georgia Dome, the largest event that he had ever put on. It would be over 80,000 people. And everybody who knew Dexter, very conservative guy, commonly known for using the N-word, said, don't even waste your time sending your product to him to consider bringing on his stage. He's never, ever, and never will have a black motivational speaker. I said, well, I'm a motivational speaker who I didn't contribute to my paid job. So I was send my stuff to a video and said, he can't see me. You didn't have videos then. And I sent it to Dexter. And he called. He called me personally and said, I need to talk to you. He had a choice between Robert Schuller, Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins. All of these guys were around. I came to his office in Charlotte, and we argued all day long. Do you hear me? All day long. We never even got a chance to talk about speaking in the Georgia Dome. We argued all day long. Here's what I learned from Dexter. We got ready to go. The limousine came, and he got up, and he got my luggage. I said, I got it. He says, no, I have it. Dexter was earning over $1 million every 17 hours.
Wow.
In Amway. He took my luggage. We got downstairs, the chauffeur, limousine that was there, the chauffeur-driven limousine. The guy opened the trunk, and Dexter put my luggage in the trunk. And then the guy came out and opened my door, and I said, okay, Dexter, I see. He said, no, I'm going with you to the airport. And he got in on the other side. And I'm saying to myself, wow, this is different. I spoke for a lot of people. Nobody rode with me back at the airport. Nobody ever, from that time to this time, at that kind of position, that kind of power, that kind of wealth, reached for and got my luggage. We got to the airport, and this is before 911. He went in and checked to get my ticket. And then I said, Dexter, you can give me my luggage now. He says, no, I got it. And he walked me to the gate. At that time, I had my talk show, and people said, hello, Les Brown. And there I had a billionaire who was carrying my luggage. The scripture says, the greatest among you will be your servant. And we got to the gate. I said, okay, I see you, Dexter. He said, well, I'm not leaving until your plane leaves. And we stood there and talked, and he said, you know, he said, we're as opposites day and night. He said, and we have so much in common. We are both fighters. And he fought me like, yo. He said, you got the position on that stage. I'm gonna get a lot of flack, but I know you are the one. So I'm thinking that I was gonna be in a little small meeting room at the Georgia Dome. He didn't tell me the number of people. Other people knew, but I didn't know. He said, I want you to give that presentation. He said, I know you're gonna knock it out of the park. Now, had I listened to everybody who said that he was a racist, that he was not going to, there was no chance because he's never selected a person of color to be on his stage. I'd missed out on the opportunity. That became the biggest, that speech, that presentation became the biggest seller in the history of Amway to this day. And I, unfortunately, I don't remember giving the speech. I was scared out of my wits. I went to the bathroom so many times, my butt got sore. I said, I can't come out. I was sitting there with the bowl. I just sit there, you know, I wasn't doing nothing to them. I was just sitting there. And they said, they're stalling. And I said, I can't hear the voices. And they said, get Mike Williams. He'll talk him into coming on stage. I panicked. How many of you have been in a situation where you were afraid? Raise your hands, please. I panicked. I was scared. Because they told me to look out. It was 80,000 people. And I said, that's who I'm speaking to? Whoa. I said, I gotta go to the bathroom. This is for number one. And Mike taught me out, come out. And I asked them to pray for me. What I do remember going up the steps, but after that, I drew a blank. Here's what's going to happen to you, and has already happened to some of you. There's no accident. Listen to me. Listen to the old man. Starting off my 75th year on the planet, 3/4 of a century. There's no accident that you're in this room.
That's right.
You're here for a reason. There's a reason. There's something in you. There's something that you are supposed to do. And you have to be adamant about it. And don't judge yourself based upon your circumstances. You don't have two dimes to rub together. That doesn't mean anything. Eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor has entered the heart of mankind what God has in store for you if you risk winning. If you keep coming back again and again and again and again. I could have stopped many times. Many times. When I saw an infomercial by Tony Robbins and I didn't have any investors. And I could have told myself I don't have a shot. When I was invited to speak in South Florida, and the guy thought I was Les Brown, the band renowned, and when I told him I wasn't, he spit, and he was trying to spit on my shoe. And thank God he didn't, because I'd have whooped his natural. I had on an orange jumpsuit up in there. I'd have given him some motivation. He'd have brought Liberty City out. I'm so glad he missed my shoe. You hear me? Oh yeah, the crazy would have come out up in here. And then I went in and I said, where's Dr. Norman Vincent Peale? He said, he's over there. He was so angry. It was Wildwood, Florida. And Dr. Peale had requested for me to open for him. And he didn't know that I wasn't Les Brown, the band renowned. He assumed that was me. And when the lady asked, do you mind if he opens for you, Les Brown? He said, sure, everybody knows him. And then when I knocked on the door and said to his wife, I'm Les Brown, she said, Les Brown? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, how can I help you? I said, I'm here to open for Mr. Peale. I said, are you his wife? She said, yes. She said, Pops, it's Les Brown. And it's not the band leader. And his back was to me. He said, Les Brown, shoot for the moon. Because even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. Les Brown? I said, yes, sir. That's my quote, sir. He said, oh my God. I end my presentation with that all the time. Oh my God, I'm so honored to meet you. And there was another speaker in the dressing room with him. And Dr. Beal was up in age. He said, Dr. Beal, how old are you? He said, Sonny, I'm 92. He said, man, I don't know if I want to live to be 92. He said, that's because you've never been 91. Let us say together, relationship capital.
Relationship capital.
Create relationship capital, because unbeknownst to me, because I did not have the complexion of connection, he wrote to all the speakers bureaus and said that I heard this guy who has a special gift. Put him in your brochure. And I got speaking engagements from everywhere. And he gave me a chance to be seen. That's why I have speakers open for me, because that endorsement gave me instant credibility. Dr. Norman Vincent Peale said.
Right.
Repeat after me, please. Help somebody.
Help somebody.
And help yourself.
And help yourself.
Because what you give
What you give
is what you get.
is what you get.
How many of you know there's enough out here for everybody?
Yep.
We don't have enough female speakers. We don't have enough Asian speakers, Latino speakers. Kim Wee, you know Kim Wee? Oh, I got some bad. You know John Garcia? John is a bad dude up in here. I'm bringing him back with me. He's a bad dude. Y'all haven't seen the rest of them. They're coming back when I come in 3 days. So, I want to introduce this gentleman that I've been jacking his name up for a very long time. I'm going to get it right, but he forgives me because I was in special education. But the N in his name stands for never give up. The I stands for live in your imagination. The C stands for commit yourself.
I'll be 55.
And the K stands for kindred spirits. Put yourself in a community of people who think like you, who have goals and dreams, and who are hungry. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause to Nick. Come on. With this song.
Give me one moment, I'll be right up there.
He is so mischievous. We were in Poland together. You can be seated.
Yes.
And so when we were coming back, we decided to scare the flight attendant. So put him overhead in the luggage compartment.
Did anyone see that? I put it on Instagram. Did you see it? Okay, look, it was awesome.
Yeah, and closed the door. So the flight attendant, they came by, you don't have the door open, and people get in on the flight, so people put the luggage up. They didn't just casually, oh, it's closed. She opened it up and he was there. What'd you do? Let me tell you something. But here's the piece that I really felt retarded. I didn't tell you. I was hunting and pecking on the computer I had. I type around 8 to 10 words a minute. With this one toe. Tell them how many words you type a minute.
After 2 cups of coffee, 54 words a minute. So.
I witnessed this. He said, this toe can do a lot of things. Oh, behave.
Oh, behave! I have to say,
Yeah.
I want to say before he gets off, Les Brown, my brother, I love you with all of my heart. Thank you for even inviting me here. It's an honor and privilege to call you friend, share stages anytime, and my privilege to be with you all. And I just want to say, Les Brown, we love you. God bless you, my friend, and you look fantastic.
Thank you so much. All right,
I love you, man.
I love you. Changing lives. Let's give him another tremendous round of applause.
So the sound guys, can you turn me down just a little bit, please? Check, check. Turn it down just a little bit more. Check, check. A little bit more. Sorry, where I am, mate? Yep. Down, 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 down. Let's get the right. Check, check. Go up a tiny bit. Check, check. Beautiful. Well, good afternoon, everybody. First of all, put your hand up if you've never heard me talk face to face. You've never heard me talk face to face? Also, very nice to meet you. Put your hand up if you've seen me on YouTube. Put your hand up if you saw on YouTube that video of me dressed up as the pilot and greeting the passengers as they get on the plane. You saw that? That was awesome, man. I tell you, some people freaked out. I said how I was actually dressed up and with the hat and a suit, and as people were walking down the jetway onto the plane, they see me standing in front of the door, and I greet them all. And they're like, what? And I say, good morning, my name is Captain Nick Vujicic, welcome aboard. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, we got some new Tesla technology. I didn't use Tesla. I was like so curious to know how many people would know that I'm joking straight away or would take me for real. So all the teenagers, they're like, oh my gosh, they're gonna put it on Instagram. And then all the parents are like, did you know about this? No, I didn't know about this. Are you sure you didn't get an email or something? Like, this is like kind of scary. So people are like talking and stuff. They're not sure if I'm like playing or if I'm real. And then I simply walk on the plane once everyone's boarded, and you look down the aisle, and all the heads are like this. And I got the microphone, and I said, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for boarding so fast. And they're like, oh my gosh! Some people came to Jesus right there and then. It was awesome. My name is Nick Vujicic, born and raised in Australia. My parents were refugees out of communism Yugoslavia. They were very poor, and they taught me some fundamental values and principles about life and entrepreneurship. And at age 36, I'm so thankful that we understand that no one has any perfect parents. Does anyone have any perfect parents? No. Did some of our parents do some good things? Yes. And could we take those good things and try to do even better? Yeah. And can we take some of those things that were not really so good and try and make a difference for our children? Yeah. Great. The cool thing about this is that people lose their appetite for higher goals because they actually conclude that they're not going to be better than anyone else. And deep down in an entrepreneurial spirit, so many people say, well, I want to start a company and be as successful as Steve Jobs. A friend of mine, Max Roper, and two of his high school buddies, actually started an app called Appetize. It's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. He's younger than me. And I asked him to speak at one of my entrepreneurial events at Attitude is Altitude last year. And what he said was this. He said, why is it that people say, I want to be like Steve Jobs? And why don't they actually say, I want to be even more successful than Steve Jobs? Because what we got to understand is that we got to be hungry. Because if you don't have the appetite, then no one can do what you need to do to have you be successful. Does that make sense? Yes. I'm going to give you some 7 principles that have changed my life, but I always open up with a couple funny stories. And I don't know who this room is. Put your hand up if you own a small business. Okay, put your hand up if you do not own a small business, but you want to own a small business. Okay, put your hand up if you want to become a speaker. Okay, cool. And put your hand up if you have children under the age of 20. Okay, great. So I just want you to know that I am so thankful that I am going to try and give you the reverse engineering, real, factual, no fluff, no sugarcoat. I'm not here today to press you to buy my product. I'll tell you about my product. You don't want it? Cool, I don't care. It's only $60. And you know what? Les is the first person in America to allow me to even talk about my product on their stage. And Les and I, we have a friendship because I love this acronym, PLU. Ready? People like us. Think of that. People like us. It's people who understand the principles of life, who together have a bigger vision to make a difference in the world. Put your hand up if you really believe that Les Brown wants to make a difference in the world. Put your hand up if you believe Les Brown already made a difference in this room. And lastly, put your hand up if you know that if the goal of Les's life was to make a difference in the world, he ain't going to change the world till he changes a city, and he ain't going to change a city till he changes a room of the hearts and minds of people in a convention center. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Do you see this table? My two questions to you is, in your life journey, who are you and what do you want? Because I tell you, man, I speak to a lot of kids and 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 10, 11, 12-year-olds, and I have actually some children of my own, and I want to show you a family photo first. And this is beautiful. This is my wife. Everyone say dreams come true.
Dreams come true.
Okay? I really wanted to get married. Alright? Badly. And I realized when I was a young adult, though, that when you talk to married people, just because you get married, it doesn't mean you're happy. Can you hear an amen?
Amen.
And so it's interesting in these two questions, who are you and what do you want? For me, I needed to know the truth of my and the future that I could have. I was born without arms and legs. No one knows why I was born this way. Children come up to me and say, what happened? I say cigarettes. No one knows why I was born this way. Not even Lady Gaga knows why I was born this way. And when I was a kid, I went into depression at age 8 because I convinced myself, everyone say convince myself. I convinced myself that my dream would never come true. And even if I did get married in my journey of life, I don't know what's ahead, but I take what I know today and I take a step today, and my actions will show me what will probably, most likely, at least have a chance of happening. The fact that I found my wife, I had to have my eyes open. As you can see, my eyes were very open. And she is very beautiful on the inside, even more beautiful on the inside than the out. She is 10 times more patient, kind, forgiving, caring, and slow to judge. And she is the most incredible mother I could ever ask to be my wife. Kiyoshi on the left, 6 years old in a couple of weeks. Dayan on the right, 3 years old. And then Olivia and Ellie, and this is another photo of our girls.
Aww.
They just turned 1.
Wow.
Olivia and Ellie. I told my wife, babe, I can't do more than 2 children, please. I'm just a handful, man. And she said, no, we're not done yet. And I said, okay. I said, so how many do you want? She says, it depends. I say, what does that mean, honey? She says, if the third one is a boy, 3 brothers, cool. If the third one's a girl, I can't imagine my life without a sister. She gonna need a sister. And I said, oh boy. So I was hoping for a boy, but in the end, can you imagine? 1 in 300 pregnancies, the embryo splits, and you get 2.
Yay.
When we met each other in Dallas, Texas, It was love at first sight. She looked at me, I looked at her, I couldn't feel my legs. And when I concluded that I would never get married, I really also convinced myself, everyone say convince myself?
Convince myself.
Okay. I convinced myself that I, even if I got married, won't even be a good enough husband because I need help. I need a caregiver. I'm not even going to get a job. She's going to have to get a job or be my nurse. I never thought I'd be independent. And I thought even if all that happened, and even if we did have kids, two things: I can't hold her hand, and I can't hold my kids when they're crying. Today, I realize you don't need hands to hold her heart. And when my kids cry, I love them in a way that when they cry, they come and hug me. If you get this next phrase, your life will change forever. I'll actually give you two. The most happy people are the ones who take time to count their blessings. I'll say it again. The most happiest people on earth are the ones who take time to count their what? Blessings. Okay. We'll get to the second one later, but I just want to stop on that. As a speaker, I've met a ton of people. I've actually done 3,500 speeches in over 8 million people face to face. We broke my record of an audience crowd of 800,000 people face to face. Wow. 17th of September 2017 in Europe. With 52.7 million people watching me live in 26 countries without commercial breaks and in 20 languages. And we paid how much for that? 0. I love this second phrase. We learned it from our partner, Charter Schools USA, for our altitude education in school curriculums that we've developed together. We're going to be in 80 schools in America by August. And John Hayes says, do good and do well. Do good and do well. And today, in those two questions, who are you and what do you want? We sometimes get so caught up about who we think we should be, and we beat ourselves up, and we never become our own friend, and we remain as our enemy. We convince ourselves that we compare everyone else's success to your success, and you convince yourself you'll never be happy nor be successful. So if Thanksgiving, actually, if I'm telling you the truth, meeting personally 400,000 people, I hugged 400,000 people in my life, my arms fell off, and I'm a hugging machine, so if you hug me, okay, just don't pick me up and run. But I've met billionaires, and I've actually met more joyous, fulfilled, and peace-filled orphans than billionaires. I would rather be a father who has sons cleaning the toilets at a high school than for my children to get caught up in the security of what the world puts their security and value in. Let me tell you, I will give you the keys to how I became successful. But let me just tell you, first you got to be thankful, and money will never make you happy. Money, drugs, sex, alcohol, pornography, fame, and fortune. If you put your happiness in temporary things, your happiness will be temporary. I want you now to write down, number 1, be thankful. I don't want to just make you feel good. I want to get real with you so quickly that we have you intake in the next 37 minutes, that you're going to walk away with these notes, and you're always going to remember these principles that actually transformed my thinking. Now, I'm not a person to say that all you need is positivity. You know those people? Just be positive. Come to my seminar and then you can be positive. I feel like headbutting them in the face. Why? Because you know that when your dad has cancer, you can't be positive. Very limiting. You can't change some things of even how you think sometimes. So I'm not that person to say just be positive, okay? But here's an exercise. Everyone take a deep breath in and out. You got 10 seconds to breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, done. Who haven't you hugged? Who haven't you called? Who haven't you forgiven? When was the last time you took your wife out on a date, bought her flowers, massaged her stinky feet? When was the last time you had a conversation with your teenagers or younger children that had nothing to do with school, homework, career, clean up your room, get off technology? Have you ever taken men to a homeless shelter to show them homeless people and actually show them what generosity is? Or is it just a Christmas tradition that you actually write a check? Oh, I'm going to send my son and daughter to a missions camp, and you go with them. You get that dirt under your fingers. It will change your life if you could just actually give them something more attractive to talk about. Talk to them about human trafficking. Do you know much about human trafficking? Orphans, 2 billion people in the world who only hold one handful of rice. Have you met someone human trafficked? I've met 650 of them sold by their mother for $700 at age 10. What do you tell them about hope? Well, I'm a Christian and I go to church. I don't care. How many people have you actually shared that love with? Actions speak louder than words. You want your son to be generous? Show him generous. You want your son to know how to respect women? Then show what that actually means. And when you feel disrespected and you actually humble yourself to say, we need a psychologist. What a great lesson to show your 12-year-old son that their marriage is so important that we are going to give it every single try we can to make this relationship work. I'm not condemning anybody. I'm just saying, don't be afraid to be yourself around your children and don't expect them to be someone you're not. In America, 18% of Americans, I know the owner of a bank in Chicago, you know what I just found out? 18% of Americans went deliberately into credit card debt to actually buy everyone Christmas presents. They will be in debt until March 1. Wow! When I was a kid and I went to the store, okay? First of all, being thankful, turn to the person next to you and give them a hug. Go. store, what does the child say? Money, I want that! Daddy, I want that! No! You know what happened when we did that? Boom! You cry more, again, boom! Guess what? We never did it again. I'm not telling you to smack your kids. That will soon enough be against the law in America. But I will tell you something. When I wanted something, you know what they said? No. Well, why not? Because. It's my money. What do you mean? I go to work. Yeah. I'm your child. Yeah, good. Where's your money? Do you pay for the electricity? No. Did you pay for the TV? No. Do you pay for your food? No. Do you pay for your clothes? No. So, do you want to start doing that? No. Okay, good. So then if you want something more, every year we'll give you a $30 gift for your birthday. That was all my parents gave me, ever. Okay? No Christmas tree in our home. I was 19 by the time we had a mini Christmas tree. Still, they didn't believe in giving presents. And you know what? It was awesome. Because when you are hungry, if I give my kid everything he wants, how will he be thankful?
Right.
If I make his life so easy, then guess what's going to happen when he goes to college and he figures out, oh, this is hard. An 8-year-old, you ask him, hey guys, have you ever been stressed? And they're like, And I said, well, what's stressing you out? And they said, oh, my homework is so hard and my parents didn't give me everything I want. And my brother and my sister, they annoy me every single day. I'm so stressed. We laugh at that, right? You're like, oh, poor kid. 13 years old, they're stressed. Oh, everything around me is changing. I don't even know who I am anymore. My parents, they freak me out. They still come into my room. They didn't give me any privacy. I'm so stressed out right now. I need a boyfriend. Only I can be 17 that everything's going to be happy. Then everything's going to be okay. Guess what happens when they're 17? They're going to get into college. If I don't get into the right college, then that's the end of my world. They finally get into college, and is everything okay? No, what do they now need? Money. Okay, now if I just get a job, then everything's going to be okay. You get your job, and after 2 days, you hate your boss. And he stresses you out. Welcome to the world. I want to get married. Honey, if you ain't happy single, you ain't going to be happy married. Let me tell you why. Not because marriage sucks. Because some of us put a security, an affirmation attached to something other than ourselves, depending on another human being who will never be perfect. And neither will you. When you know the truth of your existence and purpose, and then the value of who you are, and you know your future's goal, and you're hungry, that's when you become unstoppable. Now, does that mean every dream's going to come true? No. There was a firefighter, there was a kid who had a disease that made him grow. He's going to be stopping growth at 7'2". He always wanted to be a fighter pilot. He's too tall. And he said, that's it, I'm going to give up. Again, I'm going to give you the principles to success, but I'm also going to tell you this. If you have to let your dream die, don't let that kill you. I told him, pick up a guitar, because every time a door closes, another one, what?
Open.
The glass is either half empty or half full. We got to be thankful. We're alive. We have clothes. I'm breathing. This is cool, man. So point number 1, be thankful. Point number 2, what my dad taught me, redefine impossible. You don't know what's impossible till you know what's possible. Number 3, my actions will show what's probable. You see, there's possible and there's impossible. But what's probable, it depends on what you do today. Is it possible for me to walk? The doctor said I would never walk. We didn't know that it was possible until I tried. Did I walk 400 meters or 400 feet in my first couple minutes of me walking? No, I fell down. I failed. Does anyone know what failure is in life? It's not a status. It's not a conclusion. It's not a convincing to lead you to a conclusion or even a sentence of your life. You are not a failure despite what your mum or dad even said about you when you were 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. Failure is your classroom. The most successful people understand that when you are hungry, as Les says, which is the theme of today, get hungry. Yeah. It's because when you want something so bad, if I'm the only person in the way, then I'm going to get out of the way. So one day, I wanted something on my bookshelf, and I said, Mom, I want that. She said, no, get it yourself. And I said, that's so mean. And because I wanted it and I was hungry, I grabbed the footstool where normally people who have legs put their legs up on this mini thing to relax. I dragged that with my teeth, didn't smell the best, and brought it to the bookshelf, jumped up on that. Now, do you think I was successful the first time? What will be the determination if I give up? The determination if I give up is only because, or conclusion, that I don't want it enough. So then I tried what? Again. Thomas Edison failed 9,999 times. Thomas, how does it feel failing 9,999 times? I never failed 9,999 times. There were no 9,999 ways in how not to make a light bulb.
Yep.
Yes?
Yes.
Failure, next point, equals education. Failure equals education. It's your classroom. If you're doing something, watch this. I'm not trying to be mean, but this is the reality because no one else is going to tell you this. If you try something and it actually happened the very first time and it was quick and easy, it's not significant. You could do stuff. But significance means it's going to take some risk. It's going to take some courage. Ready? I'm going to show you courage. Les loves this one, man. I'm going to jump off the table and I'm going to land on the stage over there to show you courage. Are you ready? No?
No.
Why not? Too bad. Boys, are you ready? Hey, 1, 2, 3. I'm joking, man.
That was going to be scary.
Why did I break my arm or something, all right? Courage, it's gonna hurt, you're gonna fall, but I got up on that footstool, used my head against the sharp corner of the edge of the bookshelf, got upright, got that thing in my mouth, and a light bulb went on. I have no idea what's impossible till I know what's possible, but probably depends on my actions today. And if I fail, it's my classroom. So because my parents were poor in refugee camps, They taught us to be thankful and to always remember those who don't have food. And so I put an African orphan on my mirror. I didn't know the orphan. I got a photo. I put it on my mirror. On my mirror. Every time I look in the mirror, guess what I see? The orphan. Guess what I'm thinking? I know that today could suck a lot, but today is a day closer to me helping an orphan. Yes?
Yes.
These are not just my kids. We have 4 biological kids, but we sponsor 15 children. 1 in Uganda, 12 in Zambia, 2 in Mexico. And I want you to know that we are giving them free rides through education, medical, counsel, elements of faith. I want you to know that we were taught to make a difference. What do you do? What can you do to emanate an illustrative picture of your goal, of your dream? Put your hand up. Yeah, about 11. Okay. I want you to know that my girls will actually never be looking for a boyfriend. They're going to be looking for a husband. And I want you to know it's so hard under the age of 21 to try to figure out where you are and what you want. But I'll tell you this. The best thing we've ever experienced is when we give back. And I had that goal. Why did I need that? Let me tell you why. This table is my journey. I was 8 years old. I had no idea what future was in plan for me. I had no idea at age 36 I'd meet 18 presidents, go on TV to 1.7 billion people, and have governments change their laws in the education system and value for life after I speak to them. And I want you to know I had no idea that I'd ever be an author, an actor, a speaker, and ever star in a short film that won Clint Eastwood's first short film award, won 32 film festivals, 10 years ago, Butterfly Circus. And I always, when I do one project, whether it's a book, a music video, whatever we do, I always wait for someone to come up to me crying and look me in the eye and say, that changed my life. When you do good and do well, your life is full, because your purpose becomes bigger than how many zeros you have in your bank account.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So at age 8, I was here and I was depressed because I couldn't see that I'd ever be happy. Do you know that it costs a lot of money to live in California?
Yeah.
Oh, you know that. Do you know that I'm on a 54% tax bracket? Do you know that? And do you know that I need 80 hours of help? And my wife needs 80 hours of help? You multiply that, those hours weekly, okay? You can't claim tax off nannies. So when your nanny is $15, guess how much money I have to actually earn to pay my nannies $15? $33. Okay, I'm actually forking out $32 per hour for someone to look after my kids. Multiply that by a mortgage in California, plus the wheelchairs, and everything we need. Think of that for a second. That's why my dad said, Nick, don't expect us for your retirement. You have it way harder than everyone at school. You were never given arms and legs. Use your brain. Start going into stock market investing. Go into real estate. And I did. He said, do an accounting business, get employees, and your employees will be your hands and feet. Do you know how old I was when he said that? 6. And guess what my son's doing for fun? We're buying chicken eggs from our neighbor, wholesale, selling, right? Full retail, free delivery, and it's really organic. You heard it being late this morning. Okay? That's what we're working on. When he wants, he's got hundreds of toys, don't get me wrong, but I'll tell you this, when he wants something that's a little bit more expensive than a couple bucks, he knows, Daddy, what job can I do to get that goal? I said, good. You can start by massaging my back. And he stands on my back for 10 minutes at a time, and he relieves my chronic backaches. Can you imagine? How cool is that? It's us. Entrepreneurship is sadly not taught in schools. So if your schools aren't teaching them, then you don't teach them, then who will? They will not know. So I learned. Everyone say learned. The first book I read was by John R. Verley from Scottsdale, Arizona. It's called Money Secrets of the Rich. Then I read a book called The Richest Man in Babylon. Then I read, thirdly, The Prayer of Jabez. Then the fourth, I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And I'm not endorsing anybody. I'm just telling you the books that helped me as a teenager. So I read those books, and you know what I was able to do by age 19? I had my first work experience at age 17 at a hospital, being the call center for their IT troubles. I worked for 12 days over Christmas and New Year's, and I decided I don't ever want this for my life. 8 to 5, no thank you very much. So we went into options trading, stock market trading. In fact, when I went to college, you want easy money? Yeah? I worked out on the stock market. There was a Dunlop Tires company in Australia, and it was always between 72 cents and 74. It would open at 73, it would go down within an hour down to 72, and by 2 p.m. it would go to 74 cents, and then it would close up at 73. I bought at 72, sold at 74 without having to be at the computer except for 5 minutes every morning. And that actually made me money for 3 months straight. And I actually made $160 a day with 5 minutes of my time. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I bought my first real estate investment property, and I'm just so thankful that I bought right and at the right time. And when I bought that property, not when I made profit, everyone say that, not when I made profit.
Not when I made profit.
But when I actually got the acquisition and I acquired it, I had $28,000 left cash. And I took that cash as a 19-year-old, and I went to Africa, and we gave away $28,000 worth to orphans. And it was the best year of my life. You know, they say if you want a friend, be a friend. I want you to know we all can make a difference in the world. And now I want to help you now with your goal. Now that we talked about goals and the value and you making sure that you don't put security in all that, there's just 2 more stories, and then I'm going to give you all these principles and sum it up and then share with you how I became a speaker. Cool?
Yeah.
All right, are you ready?
Yes.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
Do you know who the person was who actually told me for the first time I'm going to be a speaker? It wasn't my mum, it wasn't my dad, it wasn't a close friend, it was the janitor of my high school. And he knew in his job description that he was not required to inspire the limbless 17-year-old guy who just became a prefect in the student government body. And he came and he said to me, you're going to be a speaker. And I looked at him and I was making sure that he was actually looking at me because I have no idea what he's saying. He said, hello? I said, yes. Arnold, hi. Nick, you're going to be a speaker. I have no idea, sorry, what you're talking about. Thank you so much. Good to see you, Arnold. Bye-bye. Next day, Nick, yes, be a speaker. I said, no. Does anyone know anything about speaking? Right? The greatest fear in the world is public speaking. And the second one is death. So people would rather die physically than have stage fright. Do you understand? And he said to me, I will arrange. Can I ask photographers to actually no more moving, please? Because we've only got 16 minutes left and I need everyone's attention for the next 15 minutes, please. Thank you so much. What I want you to know is this. He said, I will arrange your first speaking engagement with 6 people. And I said, no, thank you very much. I said, what am I going to speak about? He said, your story. And I said, I don't have a story. He says, yes, you do. I said, no, I don't. And I walked away. Next day he looked at me, I looked at him. I started walking away. He started running after me. And I'm like, man, this guy ain't going to give up. So he twisted my arm and I said yes. And in front of 6 students, I spoke and I was nervous. My palms were sweating, my knees were shaking. And all of a sudden, the girl says, and I'm like, she's crying. She says, and I'm like, are you okay? She says, uh-huh. I said, what's wrong? She said, nothing. I was just touched. And I'm like, who touched her? It didn't compute. It didn't compute in my mind because when I was age 8, I convinced myself I could not achieve my goals or dreams. I convinced myself because I could. I had enough evidence. But evidence is not exactly the future. Because you don't know what's around the corner until you go around the corner. You don't see the full picture. That's right. One day I was in the car with the traffic lights and this girl saw me. I was in the car and she don't see the full picture. She just sees my head. You know what I do? Look at my head. I just did this. And she was confused because my head did this. She was like, fear, F-E-A-R, false evidence appearing real. Faith, F-A-I-T-H, full assurance in the heart. Despite what you see, despite what you feel, if you really want something, don't let someone stand in your way, but don't you stand in yours either. Well, I don't know marketing. Great, learn! I don't know how to do good. Neither did I. But what was amazing and transforming for me was I was walking this way because of all the encouragement that my parents gave me. Then all the lies in my head said, you're ugly, just give up. There is no hope, just give up. There is no hope, just give up. There is no hope. I attempted suicide at age 10. Now all I could see were broken pieces. But my friend, you don't know what beautiful things can come from your broken pieces until you give your broken pieces a chance.
That's right.
My caregiver, Peter, was abandoned by his dad, sexually abused. he swore to himself he'd never be married. Not only did he get married, but when his wife and him could not have kids, they have now done, through their home, 24 foster kids and adopted one. I can't be a foster parent of 24 kids in 4 years, but man, I'll buy them a car, and I'll give them meals, and I'll make sure that Christmas bonus is a little bit bigger. Do you understand? We all play a part.
Right.
And I'm so glad that what we've gone through, watch this, when you don't get a miracle, you can still be one.
Right.
I'll never forget when I was 24 years old, looking at the crowd, little boy held up, no arms, no legs, looking exactly like me, and I brought him up here and I put my foot on his foot. He looked up at me, I looked down at him, and I couldn't give him a high five. So I touched his foot, he smiled, everyone cried. His mum said, now I know there's a greater plan for my son's life. I said, when he goes to school and if he ever gets bullied, you call me and I'll come in that wheelchair of mine and run them all over. No, that's not what I said, but I did go there and I spoke at that school, and after 15 minutes of love, they stopped teasing him. Do you know that there are 3 public middle schools in America who have a Nick Vujicic public holiday? Because it's the day that I spoke at that school and bullying stopped altogether. We've done 990 schools in America via simulcast. We just did 30, 48 hours ago. How cool is that? If I can be a miracle, you can be a miracle. You had an alcoholic father, now you can actually help someone else who feels like giving up because they're an alcoholic father, and you can actually be more impacting to them than me because I don't know how that feels. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay, good. It's your story, and your story ain't done yet. Good? Deep breath in and out. What number point are we on? 5. Wait, who said 5? Okay, have we written 4?
Yes.
Have we written 5?
No.
5 is obstacles or opportunities. 6 is dream big. And 7 is never give up. I did cold calls calling schools after I spoke 12 times, and a girl said, no one's ever told me that they love me and no one's ever told me that I'm beautiful the way that I am. I mustered up courage to not win. I mustered up courage to lose, because anything significant I do is worth failing for. And failure is my classroom. Very good. Are you with me? Yes. So I called 52 schools inviting myself as a speaker, and I got responses, no joke, including the school saying, because you have no limbs, don't come to the school because you're just going to scare everyone. Wow. Including responses like, I actually don't believe you have arms and legs. Now, is that offensive? Is it my problem or theirs? Theirs. Right. Did I miss out or did they miss out? They missed out. Okay, so the quicker I understand that, you can move on. Do you know it's very hard to forgive someone who steals $50,000 from you? But if you can actually forgive someone and not sue someone for $50,000, when in 6 years' time, some 2 people take another $360,000, not same people, totally unrelated, it's actually 3 times as fast to forgive for $360,000 than $50,000 because it's about the principle. And the reason why I forgive and I move on is because there's so much more. Money comes and goes, but if I now get trapped up in bitterness and stuff, that's a disability that's going to hold me back than having no arms, no legs. Did I learn from my failure? Yeah, because failure is my classroom. Are you with me? Yes. When I finally got my 53rd phone call and she said yes, I wasn't ready for success. It's not about how you're going to get to a place of just being successful. You need to understand law, contracts, business, mentorship, cash flow, time management. Do you know how many unread text messages? What's your name?
Derek.
Derek, can you come up here on stage real quick? Just jump up here. And just read, how many unread text messages do I have?
1,353.
I have 1,300, give me a hug. I have 1,353 messages between two already non-profits existed. Thank you so much. I'll give you another hug later if you want. And a non-profit that we're starting, but the for-profit that we have, okay, you got to build a team. You need a mentor. You need someone to actually teach you what time management is. You can't afford mentor, go read a book. Read some excellent books and learn in a way that you actually believe you're going to be successful. I've had more entrepreneurs, no joke, today, another friend of my entrepreneur got stuck, but it wasn't in failure, it was in success. Today, this morning, big, he wasn't ready. Get ready for success, or the last thing you need is success. Does that make sense? You got to get ready, do all that you can, and then try and put yourself out. I would not have married my wife unless I had my eyes open. Have your eyes open. Write out your business plan. Get accountability. I have that many text messages because you want to know why? I hardly text anybody, and what happens is I put everyone in a group text. These are all the conversations going on. Because I'm a CEO who refuses to pick up my phone Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Period. I don't pick up my phone. I take my phone to the dining table, my wife grabs it, puts it on the highest bookshelf. Yes!
Smart.
When you start from the beginning, you have to do everything, but don't stay there. You were not successful because you did everything. To get to that place of success, you are going to have to work 18 hours a day. You are going to have to push it. You are going to have risk mitigation. You are going to have to put investment. You are going to take risk. You may fail. I lost all my money twice. It ain't uncommon. Who cares? If that's my purpose, if that's my goal, and I am hungry, I'm going to do it. Eventually, everyone say eventually. And that's what I love. I was ready to fail 52 times because it was worth it. If I just change one more person's life. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Dream big. Dream bigger. And never give up. Be wealthy. Be smart, but don't just put your security in your pride. Don't put your security in your intellect. Because the moment you think that you are not learning anymore and you've reached the top, yep. You can be powerful and humble, and it starts in your home. Then work. Who are you? I am so honored to be here. Les Brown is one of my heroes. Not because of the last 10 years of his life. He's a man of humility and focus and impact. And I look up to Les Brown. He wants you to understand that the only reason why he's standing up here is because he was hungry.
hunger itself is not enough, but it starts there. Then knowledge, then building your team, and there's a ton more that I could share with you, but my time is up. $100 online course that you can go at your own pace in your own privacy. Again, Les, with not even a back end, is cool. We're going to give you 30% off the entire online course. I created Rise Above, which is so much more knowledge that I could ever share here in 60 minutes. It's how to break down barriers and truly redefine impossible. It's actually better than any masterclass you've ever paid for. Personally, pridefully, but with humility, I think we're actually really in-depth and authentic with how we've done things. And I don't want you to leave here without a copy if you really did get something and you do want more. And I'll know you get so much out of it, but the number here on the piece of paper is to text something. If you get your phone, you can check it out, because you don't have to go to the website later. We've got a text thing that's really cool, make it really easy. And if you do it right now, you get 30% off. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not even trying to make it fluffy or feel good. But if you do want more, check it out. Text the word Nick to this number. It's 66599. 66599. When you text the word Nick, it's the entire thing. $66 is basically what you get it for today. We don't make money on the back end, because we're just trying to catch up to the success. And now we're being proactive. And we just want to help people, because so many people get upset and say, Nick, we want more of you. I can't. And I just want you to know, though, we're making virtual Nicks. Yeah. And we'll eventually do hologram when it becomes cheap. But until then, we have this, and I really know you're going to enjoy it. But I love you with all of my heart. I'm going to give you a big air hug here. I love you. Did you get anything out of this? Yeah. Everyone stand up. Everyone repeat after me. Say, I today will rise above. Will redefine impossible. I will do my best to love myself and get out of my way. So help me God. Give each other a big high five and give each other a hug. Thank you so much. You've been so awesome. God bless you all.
Go, you want to go take a picture with them? Yeah.
Thank you. Let's welcome back the legendary Les Brown!
Let's hear it for Nick. Give him a tremendous round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Nick Vujicic today. We are partners and we love each other. And I just have fun lunch and I get out of lunch. Did you get Dahlia the things this year? Yes. How many of you ready to live a larger life? How many of you ready to create the next greatest version of yourself? Very good. I want you to know some of my time. Where you? Let us sit still. Father, we thank you for Nick. We thank you for his life, for his wife, for his children, for his message. We give thanks for these dreamers standing in this room. Yes. Who have courage and faith and determination to be channels for you to work through, to bring out the purpose that you chose them to be here, to live full and to die empty. We give thanks for someone who's going through a challenge right now that after hearing Nick's word, rather than go through it, they are going to grow through it and be stronger on the other side. We know that your hand is on every life in this room, and no awakening is taking place. You're ordering our steps. And 2019, the year of our dream and beyond, will be the best we've ever had, because we heard his voice, we witnessed his example, and we've come here to stand. Therefore, they can do the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand, and the evil day, that even when we face challenges and tragedies and setbacks and failures and disappointments, it's only our classroom, as Nick said, only for us to learn. And allow us to know, count it all joy, whatever we're dealing with. If we don't have a miracle, we can be a miracle. Oh, that resonated with me. How many of you ready to be a miracle? So we confront to this time and we sit together knowing that the rest of our life will be the best of our lives. We know ourselves, we can do nothing, but with you, all things possible.
Yes.
Let's sit together. I feel love in this room. I feel hope in this room.
I feel hope in this room.
I feel the presence of God in this room.
I feel the presence of God in this room.
I give thanks
I give thanks
that my dream is possible.
my dream is possible.
It's already done.
It's already done.
Stick a fork in it.
Stick a fork in it.
So let's sing a song, please.
When
Let's give it up for Celeste!
Oh, one last thing, for those of you that purchased anything with Vishal or with Les,